and welcome to Reliving My Youth. My name is Noel. My guest this week is Monique Powell. Monique's the lead singer of the ska group Save Ferris. Save Ferris was right up there during the third wave ska movement in the 90s, and they're probably best known for the cover of Come On Eileen by Dexys Midnight Runners. Their debut album, It Means Everything, featured that song, as well as the song The World Is New. They had a role in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. They were on the Warped Tour, and they released one more album in 1999 before breaking up in 2002. Monique had some health issues, and then she decided to reform Save Ferris, a whole new band. She had to get the name, the rights. That was a legal issue, which luckily got rectified. And in 2017, released a fantastic EP, Checkered Past, featuring the song New Sound. They had a guest appearance by Neville Staple of the Specials on that song, which is great. And then they just released a new single, Lights Out in the Reptile House, fantastic song, which will likely lead to an EP coming up soon. We talk about the whole career of Save Ferris. We also talk about the Warped Tour. We talk about the disaster that was Woodstock 99. We talk about Ben Stein, obviously being in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The name is from the movie. And just how Monique rocks. She is fantastic. I really enjoyed my conversation with her, and I hope you do as well. So Monique, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, so let's start in the present. The new single, Lights Out in the Reptile House, which I absolutely love. It's such a great song. You know, the harmonies are great. The video, I love too. The video is really innovative too. Is this song going to lead to maybe a full-length album?
When the night is winding down and the circus comes to town, all the freaks come out to play. Then the monkey starts to say, let's do something, make a call, mix up, make up, try it all. Drink it, smoke it, 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 drink it, smoke it. We need to order more. Wait, I think I know that guy. Yeah, I really love that guy. This is totally insane. What's his name? Lights out in the reptile house. Lights out in the reptile house, my friends. Lights out in the reptile house. I think we're going crazy. Will we ever get out? Let's do something, make a call, mix up, make up, try it all. Drink it, smoke it, 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 drink it, smoke. We need to order more. Wait, I think I know that guy. Yeah, I really love that guy. This is totally insane. What's his name? Lights out in the reptile house. Lights out going crazy when we ever get out.
I don't know about a full length, definitely an EP,
Okay.
hopefully a full length.
Right. Okay. What was like the motivation behind the video?
Well, the video obviously was inspired by the song. And the song is sort of about just this nightmare, this repeating nightmare of, this life that just seems to repeat itself and nothing new really seems to happen. And it's kind of like the video is about, the repeating life of like being the person that just goes to the pub every single day or goes to the bar every single day and gets drunk. And then all of a sudden you realize that you're not the person that's like, the one with all the friends. You're kind of like the lonely person at the bar, just watching the TV, and then you fall asleep at the bar and there's this nightmare that happens. And next thing you know, you're in this haunted house.
Right. Was it fun shooting the video?
It was really fun. We
Yeah.
shot it in a real haunted house in Orange County.
Okay.
And my boyfriend shot it. Ashley Kimmett shot it. And yeah, we had a really great time. We got the bejesus scared out of us.
Right. So it wasn't like a walkthrough first. So whatever emotion you got in the video was original. The first
That was
time.
great.
Oh, that's great.
And that was like Save Ferris fans walking through, just being like, I remember standing outside hearing them scream and going, did I do the right thing? Am I
Right.
torturing these poor people? I'm sorry.
Right. So did you put out like a notification that you were shooting a video and having fans come by?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great day.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun.
Yeah. It seems like all the videos guys you've done throughout the years, it seems like you've had a lot of fun shooting them.
Yeah. And that's kind of like my MO. I think in all things Save Ferris is like just to make it as joyful and positive as possible. And when it stops being that way, something needs to change,
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like,
something right.
right. And it seems like now, I mean, you can talk about like MTV or the lack of basically MTV because it's all shit now, what's on there. But I feel like now, I mean, you can just watch any video anytime because you got basically everything's on YouTube and it's on demand like everything else in life now. But I feel like it's kind of like the romantic side of it having, MTV, looking for the video to come on and now all of a sudden it's on rather than just pretty much like any song on the radio. You want to hear your song on the radio, but now it's like, hey, you can put it on Spotify, iTunes, whatever, anytime. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword, I think, in that regard.
Yeah. I remember reading about what it was like right when MTV started showing music videos in the beginning of MTV, and how a lot of musicians were saying that the romance and the mystery of music was dying because all of a sudden, you couldn't really imagine what the songs were about or what the people behind the songs looked like anymore, because now you had this imagery forced down your throat, And so now that the videos are so readily available to us, it's just like, well, now there goes that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's kind of why, for the most part, I've tried to keep the my idea of what the songs are about rather close to my chest, to kind of allow the listener to define that for themselves. But with this song, it's a little obvious, but I'm allowed to do it sometimes. And this song was just, kind of tongue in cheek and a lot of fun and just about getting loaded and,
Exactly.
and not being able to stop, basically.
Yeah. You can't misinterpret that one.
Yeah, misinterpret this is day 3 in the dark room again.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Let's call the dude. We ran out.
Yeah.
And it's
Has there been like ever a time where a fan came to you after a show and said this song meant so much to me and they explained why and you just like that song does not mean that at all, but you're like, oh, thank you very much.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That happens all the time. Where, I'll say, um, yeah, no, I'll say that is really beautiful or interesting, or wow, that means a lot to me, or whatever, I mean, it always means a lot. The fact that it means anything to anybody means
Right.
a lot to me. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
glad. I'm just glad anybody's listening to the songs.
Right. No, I mean, why shouldn't they? They're fantastic,
Thanks.
they'll hold up and, I'm looking forward to hearing more, when they do come out. And you mentioned that it may not be a full length EP, you might do like, the EP route. Do you think that's kind of like smart now because the way people just consume music, like kind of keep them interested, maybe do a song every like month or every 2 months rather than just drop like 10, they hear it for a couple weeks and they've kind of forget about them?
Um, maybe, maybe. Uh, at first I was like, well, you have to understand, like the first thing Say Ferris ever put out was a 5-song
Right.
EP. And so for me, I have like a nostalgic heart. So that's why Checkered Past was a 5-song EP. And that's why, I like 5-song EPs. I feel like that was my favorite thing we've ever put out. And so that's kind of where my heart is at. So I'll probably put out 2 5-song EPs and then turn those into a full length,
Yeah.
so that instead of putting out one body of work and then a second body of work, I can put out 3 bodies of work
Exactly.
total.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, which is good for the artist because that allows us to have more product to release.
Right.
And then that's good for the fans because then they have more stuff
Yeah.
they can see and more pictures that they can enjoy and more stuff that they can look at
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and I know for me as a fan, I always enjoy that with my artists.
Yeah.
So but the whole thing about releasing a song, like, at first I was like, oh, that's really cool when an artist that I love releases a song every 4 weeks. But then I was talking to my co-writer, Michael Bradford, who I wrote these songs with, and he had a really good point. He was just like, a song's got to do what a song's got to do. Like, you got to let the song do what it's going to do.
Right.
A song's got to play, it's gotta live its course. You can't like kill it before it's time.
Right.
And you can't release a video before it's ready to be released. You can't release a song before it's ready to be released, just to put product out there, and to a certain degree, he's right. So I think it's really all about allowing the song to speak for itself and allowing the process to be very organic and really listening to the fans and listening to the song and listening to the response to the song, instead of sort of forcing stuff on people.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel now, just with the technology we have and just the way the industry is, you're closer to the fans than you ever before?
To some degree, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To some degree, yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe. I think it is easy for them to contact me. It's much easier for them to contact me if they need me.
Right. Yeah.
If there's an emergency, you know how to find me.
Exactly. Right. They can put the Monique, signal up in the air,
Yeah.
the Save Ferris logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right.
Right. And like, it's kind of funny how like, the original band came out, you had your EP, you weren't on a label, and now it's kind of come full circle where you are Save Ferris and you're doing everything basically on your own again. after going, kind of the highs and lows. You feel like now it's a lot of work, and I don't want to say the return is minimal, but it's different than it was back in the late 90s, definitely for sure.
Uh, it's kind of better now. Uh, it's kind of better. Uh, it's hard, but that's only because now there's so much more. There's so many more options available to the artist than there ever. This is Blue.
Hey,
Sorry,
Blue, that's okay.
he doesn't like it when I get all the attention. He likes to keep
Of
some to
course.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many more options available to the artist now, and I know how to utilize so many more of those options than I ever have. And so because of that, I'm a lot busier than I ever was before. And so yes, there's a lot more work, but I do believe that the payoff is greater.
Okay.
Because it's easier to be able to be a self-supporting artist nowadays without like being on the radio and without like being on a label. Like you can be quote unquote relatively obscure and still have a fan base and still tour and still be able to be self-supporting and have a lucrative career without, being owned by a label.
Right. And then you would have to put out the full length album every year or 2 years, opposed to now just putting out the EP when you want, putting out a second one when you want, and kind of going at your own pace rather than someone kind of breathing down your neck.
Totally. But you want to have some consistency. That's kind of the hard part for me is the consistency, because like I as a songwriter am not very consistent. So that's why I like to write with other people. I think that they keep me real honest, So yes, it's good to have consistency when it comes to album cycles, in some consistency in that sense. But other than that, yes, you're right.
Yeah. Have you experienced writer's block ever?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for years, I think I experienced some real, I don't know. I was in some environments that were just like really creatively, dark.
Right.
Yeah, I was just around some people who weren't very creatively, encouraging for a number of years. They made me feel very uncomfortable, and they made me feel stifled, and I didn't know what it felt like to be in an creatively encouraging environment until I was on my own and I got to create one for myself.
Right.
And now that I've been able to create one for myself, it's like, oh, that's how it's supposed to feel. But it took me a long time to get rid of the old, like, self-esteem issues, when it came to that kind of stuff.
Right. And was
So,
that because, unfortunately, because you're a woman back then? I mean, you still are, obviously, but you know what I mean? But like, was that because just like the nature of the business back then?
I mean, I always hate to go there,
Right.
but I'm sure, yes, that plays into it
Right.
to some degree. I'm sure, yes, it played it to some degree.
Right. Which
And
sucks.
I'm sure it still does
Yeah.
to some degree. I still, I'm still, and I hate to say it, like I'm still having to deal with it a little bit, even just to be taken seriously by people, other professionals in this business. now that I'm like self-managing and,
Yeah.
you know, right now
That's like
I'm doing.
unfortunate, I mean, you have the body of work. I mean, you have a track record, so I just don't understand, why can't talent just be talent, no matter who, where it comes from.
Yeah, and I was Save Ferris's for the most part, I was Save Ferris's first manager, and I don't claim to know more than anybody or less than anybody. I just claim to know 29 years worth of what this band means to me and what it's taken for us to be able to get to where we're at. And I also know what it is we need. But I also don't claim to know everything.
Right.
So maybe that's the problem. I don't know. No. I also, don't want to manage the band forever.
Right.
It's just like I said, when I'm not feeling that, the band is being taken seriously, or when we're not in an environment in which we're being treated in a way that I feel that is worthy of us, then it's time to move on.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Or when we don't have the choice
Mhm.
in certain situations, I just have to rise to the occasion, and I just have to wear many different hats.
Right.
Record label manager, whatever,
Yeah.
tour manager, whatever it happens to be today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Spin the wheel and see what comes up.
Sometimes I just don't have a choice.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
have to do it.
Right. And I'm sure in that regard, you also decide who is going to play with you in the band. And
Yeah.
I'm sure talent is definitely, a part of it, but you don't want to have any dicks in the band, so to speak. Right. You want to have people who, share your vision. You're not going to go up, against you. So I'm sure that's come up too, bringing.
I actually don't mind it when people go up against me. I actually prefer having people around me who challenge me.
I mean, creatively, but not like, this is a horrible thing, right? But I mean, you like good, debate is, it's healthy. You don't want to have the yes men in the band,
Yeah.
but you don't want it to be, dickish about it.
Right. I don't, yeah. There's ego for ego's sake, and then there's a healthy amount of ego, which we all need, which is acceptable.
Yeah.
And there's been a whole bunch of different things, but people listen, my dream has always been that, it's just one big happy family, and it never ever changes.
Right.
That's the unfortunate reality, is that I don't always get what I want.
Yeah.
I can't control everything, and I can't control other people. So they're going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to want what they're going to want. And I have to just roll with the punches. And I found that that's just what life is about. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Life is not about me trying to control stuff. Life is about me just rolling with the punches. How well can I roll with the punches?
Right.
Without having a freak out today.
Yeah. That's professionally, that's personally, it's all
everything.
Absolutely.
And you have kids, so you get it.
Yeah, everything's a challenge.
Yeah, everything's a challenge. And with kids and with children, that's right. Kids kids roll with the punches too, which is really cool. Like to watch kids, like they'll have freak outs sometimes, but then how they bounce back so easily is really
Right.
cool to watch
Yeah.
how they're able to do that.
Exactly.
Oh, look, a cookie.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you get jealous. It's like, wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then
yeah,
you remember I used to be like that years
yeah.
ago, and then it's like, what happened? It's just
Oh,
like,
what happened? It used
yeah,
to be so easy for me to just get over stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it
And
was easy.
that's,
Ooh, ice cream, but it's
yeah.
not. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
a puppy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
totally.
know. And so that's what I'm learning. That's been the lesson for me, the overarching lesson in all of this is like just to learn how to let go and be forgiving and forgiving of others and forgiving of myself. The hardest part was to forgive myself in all of it. Ultimately, always blamed myself for everything first. Hardest on myself, always. And would beat myself up the hardest. Um, and that's, I think, part of the reason why, um, writing was also difficult. I would become blocked was because I would just be depressed all the time because I couldn't understand why I was so sad all the time. And it was because I was just like so hard on myself. Why can't I be perfect? Why can't everyone like me? Why can't everyone
Yeah,
stay? Why can't I make them stay? Why can't I be why can't I be enough for everybody so that they'll be happy and stay? And why can't I be enough so that they'll um, you know, want
right.
want to stay,
Yeah.
you know.
So then I imagine like writing when you're depressed, it's not like you're a cup of tea, so to speak. You have to be kind of like in a positive frame of mind to write.
Honey, you try being in a ska band and writing when you're depressed.
Yeah, that's true. I think, as long as the music's catchy, that's what, people, you get some horns in the band and stuff like that, and people, think anything is positive, really,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
So,
no, I mean, being in a ska band definitely brings up brings the level up, brings the energy
right.
and the
Mhm.
brings it all up, which is cool. But like you have to be able to get out of bed to get to that rehearsal.
Right. Yeah. That's the
if you're
challenge every day.
yeah, if you're like too depressed to even leave the house,
Yeah.
that's an issue.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, so sorry about that. So but I'm back. Uh, so yeah, so that's, been the thing, like the overarching theme of all of this has been how to, be forgiving of just myself and other people and let things go, really. And that's, really made me better, in everything in my life. It's made me a better business owner. It's made me a better singer. It's made me a better band member. It's made me a better sister,
Right.
pet owner.
Yeah, everything.
I don't
Right.
get as mad when Blue shits on the rug because he's the senior
Right.
and he forgets where his litter box is.
Okay. Yeah. That
Yeah,
happens to the best of us. So
it does. It's like every once in a while I found myself shitting under the coffee table and I'm like,
yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, exactly. But then you realize we're the ones who have to clean it up. We don't have anybody. Oh yeah, well, I'll clean it up and you deal with it. And
Then I just forgive. I forgive myself and I
yeah,
move on. I'm like,
exactly.
oh look, a cookie. And
Exactly.
everything's okay.
Everything will be all right. Absolutely. Yeah. So how difficult was it to gain just the Save Ferris name and dealing with your old like band members? Were you able to like forgive them after everything or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Were you
You know,
surprised it went that way?
the way it went.
Yeah, dealing with in court and everything like that.
Um, yeah, I was. I'm always surprised when, people, I mean, I can't say too much about it, but
Right.
I'm always surprised when people make certain decisions that are, um, I don't know,
Yeah. Right.
make certain decisions
Yeah. I hear you.
that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of going back, a few years, the first album, It Means Everything was great, still is great. And that was kind of like the height of the third wave, ska with, all the other bands, No Doubt, Real Big Fish. Do you feel we're kind of waiting for another like revival of ska?
I feel like we're kind of like we're just teetering on one. We're sort of teetering on another one. Yeah, we're almost there.
Right.
Are we there? Are we almost there? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe summer. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right. Because we had the 80s revival and like, the 90s is kind of back now. So I'm assuming that part of the 90s is right around the corner too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for
Right.
it. Is the world ready?
Mhm.
I hope so.
Right.
Is it time? Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there. I can feel it coming.
Right.
I'm sorry, this cat. I'm
Oh, no,
sorry.
that's okay.
Okay.
It's
Sorry.
okay. I have a dog just like that. So,
This happens every time I get on a
right.
he doesn't care if I'm like just writing like a PDF doc. I'm
Yeah.
just there writing something. He's asleep on the chair. But the minute I get on a Zoom interview, he's
Yeah.
like, I want
Likes to
all
be
the
on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
It's one of
problem.
those Hollywood cats, I assume. Yeah. So how kind of surreal was it, obviously the band name, coming from Ferris Bueller, that Ben Stein was one of the guests on the Craig Kilborn show when you were on there?
Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. That was like one of the coolest things ever. And then he got to announce us at our record release show at the Palace, which became the Avalon. But when we released It Means Everything, he announced us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he introduced you the same deadpan way he always talks, right?
Totally did. He came
Yeah.
out and everyone freaked out. People were like, what is happening? And I'm pretty sure at the time he lived in Orange County. I don't know where he lives now, but at the time he lived in Orange County, which was also an uncanny coincidence.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So how did 10 Things I Hate About You come about?
we were, if I remember correctly, and I hope I'm correct because this is the story I tell all the
Mhm.
time on the stage. If I'm not correct, then I've been lying to our audiences for the last year.
Right.
So we'll just pretend like I was just mistaken and not lying. If I remember correctly, it was 98 or 2000. I think it was 98 Warped Tour.
Okay,
And we had like one day off on that tour, and we got a call, like, you guys have one day off. Do you want to be in a movie? And we were like, okay, because it paid well.
Yeah.
And on that one day, we flew to Seattle, and and we were like, this is really interesting. We're going to be in a prom scene.
Yeah.
How wild is this? Being, fans of John Hughes movies and
Right.
like being in a teen movie is like, was obscure for me at least, and really cool. And didn't recognize or know any of the actors. And yeah, it was just really, and then we flew right back and went back right back on the Warped Tour.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the movie did what it did.
Yeah.
And now look at it. It's like it's made its way into infamy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like, the teen like movies like that, they're kind of like gone. They don't really make them like they used
Yeah.
to.
That's interesting that you say that. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, when are they going to come out with a movie like that, like 10 Things? Or we were just talking about John Hughes the other day,
Yeah.
too. Like all these great movies that John Hughes did. And he didn't just do teen movies, but
Yeah.
he did do something really amazing in that teen genre, which was capture this very real voice that was like lacking and very necessary in cinema, I believe, at the time. And this voice that needed to be captured, and that was the voice of this generation. And so, I mean, like there's been some TV shows that have maybe captured the voices of some teen generations recently, but no real movies
No.
that I think of.
Yeah. Because if they like released a Breakfast Club now, I don't think teens would even watch it. It just wouldn't relate to like this generation's, teens, I feel,
Yeah.
which is sad.
Yeah. Teen. Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about this generation of the kids that are in college, probably going into college now. No, kids that are in high school now and maybe going to college now, but and what they've gone through is this has been a crazy, crazy
Yeah.
10 years for them. Maybe, I mean, crazy 5 years for them.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's been
they've
crazy.
gone through so much. They've gone through so much. They've seen so much.
Yeah.
And they're definitely a very mature generation.
Yeah. Because
Sure.
I have one in college, one who just started high school, and then one who just started kindergarten. So it's spread out and yeah.
That's interesting. So that's sort of like, yeah. So my sister and I are like 11 years apart. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
interesting gap, maybe similar.
Yeah.
She's my best friend now. So
Oh, that's good.
mhm.
Yeah. And it's tough because my daughter is, the high schooler and, you have to worry about girls, more, especially as they get older, and they don't have any double standards, treat my son the same way, treat my daughter, this and that, but you just kind of pay extra attention to your daughter,
Yeah.
So especially, going into high school and just the way, things are now with cyberbullying and all that nonsense. And it's just like, rather just have, someone go up to you, punch you in the face, shake hands, and it's over. How it was when we were younger. It's just so much easier.
Well, and also, uh, it can't be easy as a parent to monitor. You can't monitor everything they do. You
No, you
can't
can't.
monitor everything they look at and
Yeah,
see on the internet, every email they read, every
yeah,
they go on to, and
exactly.
just have to be the best parent you can be, and then just pray, I guess,
Yeah, it's true.
that it's enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I gotta tell you, these kids are pretty awesome. They're so evolved.
Yeah, they're resilient.
They're resilient, they're evolved, they're wise, they're brave. Um, I I just got to tell you, they're changing the world. They really are.
Yeah.
They changed the world for me.
Right.
They have these young ladies have changed the industry for me. They've made me feel like I have a posse, like a gang, like a girl gang,
Right.
you know, and they've changed the dudes
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Now all the guys are like, they got our backs too now,
Good.
you know? And so these generations of kids are just like so rad. And it's also because we raised them.
Right.
So we're pretty cool,
Yeah, we are. I think
you
so.
know?
Yeah.
And, you know, while they were dealing with all this adversity, we were going through it with them.
Yeah.
And so you deserve a lot of credit as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Because even going back to the late 90s, how just dudes were. I mean, like I'm sure you knew firsthand, just going on tour, how like just brutal it was, and just how it kind of heightened and hit the peak at like Woodstock '99, and that train wreck that was.
We're just talking about it.
Right.
My boyfriend is traumatized from the documentary.
Oh, God, that was awful. Yeah.
Traumatized.
Yeah, that was
He's,
bad.
he's traumatized. He's like, Monique, I knew it was bad. I just didn't realize how bad it was. That was a horrible, horrible time for women.
Yeah.
Horrible. Just from watching that documentary, he goes, I realize now how disgusting we were. Like,
Yeah. It was just awful.
and it really was. I
Yeah.
mean, hindsight is always 2020. And I'm a little like, I won't let myself watch stuff like that because I don't want to, it's not that I don't want to relive it. It's that I don't want to remind myself of it being as bad as it actually was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I hear you absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
I think I've been able to sort of compartmentalize it in my mind and say,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. We survived. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We're
Yeah.
good. We're good.
It's a
And
footnote in history. That's it now.
yeah, and I have these memories and these flashbacks, and I
Yeah.
just compartmentalize it and go, but it's okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
But shoot,
Yeah.
it
And
was what these boys got away with, man.
yeah. And by no means am I defending them at all, but what just the environment they were put, it was like almost like a social science experiment.
Totally.
Oh, and lack of food, lack of, basic toilets and water, but they made their own decisions. So they have to live
Oh
with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but that was they were already thrown into a concert environment in which it was okay in those days for young men
Yeah.
to act naughtily towards women at shows and do things like certain bands, I will remain nameless, would stand up on stage and say, show us your tits.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, there were girls in the audience who were very happy to comply.
Of course.
So, and was it peer pressure? Maybe.
Yeah, could have been.
Peer pressure, maybe insecurity, maybe societal pressure. Who knows? But it was just this kind of environment. It was just this icky environment where these roles were being played out. These like gender roles were being played out, and they were very, ugh,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I feel good. I didn't feel good playing that role.
No, definitely not.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah. So I saw you on the Warped Tour in '98 in
Yeah.
Buffalo, and wasn't like that at all. That tour. I feel, I mean, it was more tame to a degree opposed to Woodstock.
Yeah, because I mean, well, except for that time when we played like next, we were the stage like next to the Deftones, and
Right.
what's his name from the Deftones just decided to like rip me a new asshole right before like we played right after them. So they
Yeah.
hit the last note and then we
Came out.
started playing, and he just tore me a new one right before we started playing. And he made it a gender thing, and he's very sexist in his bullshit about me. And
Did you confront him at all, or no? Or you just kind of let it go at that point?
no, because the universe is amazing, because maybe the next day or a couple days later or whatever, this beautiful woman comes up to me with this little boy who's wearing a Save Ferris shirt with me on it. Literally like a 4 or 5-year-old little boy wearing a giant t-shirt with me on it. And this woman walks up to me and she goes, "I want you to see this." And I go, "Hi, little boy." And the little boy is very sheepish and he's looking at me. And she says, what's the singer of the Deftones name? I can't remember his name, but
I don't
anyway,
remember.
she goes, "I want you to see this little boy. This little boy will not take this shirt off. This is his favorite t-shirt since he saw you play like however many days ago. And this is the singer of the Deftones' son."
Wow. Chino Morero.
Chino,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a man's karma right there.
And I go, "Well, the universe works in mysterious ways, my love. The
Exactly.
universe works in mysterious ways."
Oh,
She
that's
goes,
great.
"Yes, it does, my girl. Yes, it does."
All right. That's awesome.
That's why I don't harbor resentments, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad, but I felt bad about myself. I wasn't angry at him. I just felt bad about myself. But yeah, the universe works in mysterious ways. But I think that the environment on that tour was, the first like male feminists I ever knew were punkers.
Yeah.
And in '98, Warped was like a punk tour. And so I felt very much at home with those guys. I felt
Right.
very safe around the majority of those guys.
Good.
Yeah, they treated me very much like an equal,
Right.
you
That's
know,
awesome. Yeah.
which was cool.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because that was right around the same time that the Lilith Fair was out there too and performing well. So you have kind of like, I wouldn't say competing, festivals and tours, but, both ends of the spectrum, so to speak.
Yeah, both ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. How did you guys come about covering Come On Eileen?
Come on, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Poor old Johnny Ray said it set upon the radio. He moved Eileen Telluride, come on, Eileen Telluride, Telluride. Oh, Eileen, I said, come on, Eileen, oh, come on, Eileen, you're far too young and clever, and things won't ever change. And I say, come on, Eileen, oh, I swear, well, he means at this moment, you mean everything to me. Oh, to me. Whoa, Eileen, you mean everything.
I just remembered really liking that song when I was a kid and the video
Yeah.
on MTV. And when I thought about things that made me happy, that song would always come into my mind. And so I always wanted to cover it. And yeah. And then yeah, Brian Mashburn kind of, came up with this really great rendition of it, of the cover, and it's like, this is awesome. So that's how it happened.
Yeah. I'm always fans of covers where the opposite sex will sing the song,
Yeah.
rather than just like a regular, just straight, cover of the song where it's pretty much the same as it was intended to be. But I just like how it kind of gets out of the box when like a female singer or singer opposed to a male or vice versa. And then the way you guys performed the kind of ska version, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, for me, like, I've never been a fan of like changing. It wasn't necessary for me to change any of the gender pronouns or anything like
Yeah.
that, because I could sing it to a woman just as easily as I could sing it to a man. So
Right.
why?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It was like, just leave it.
Yeah. Did you
I'm
ever?
glad nobody asked me to change it.
Yeah. Did you ever hear any feedback from Kevin Rowland, who was in the band?
No.
No? Okay.
Uh-uh.
I'm
But
sure
I'm sure he's happy.
I'm sure it song did well, and I'm sure, he definitely, profits from it. So
Totally does.
yeah, exactly. He can only, hope for, greater success on it. So
Exactly.
totally. Yeah. So after the band broke up and you had, time off, I know you had some health issues, and surgery and stuff like that. And, I'm recovering from my back surgery right now. Was it difficult getting back into the swing after such a long time, like creatively?
Well, like I said, no, like getting back into rehearsals and doing the set wasn't hard. Writing, it was a little hard, like dusting the rust off, whatever. But yeah, no, the other stuff just is second nature. That was very easy.
Yeah. And then what about like finding, the band? How long did that take?
2.5 seconds.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known great musicians, and fortunately, those are people I've always surrounded myself with, great artists and musicians, and so that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you surprised that the fans came back for you? That they remain loyal?
No,
Okay.
no, because that's why I really brought the band back, was because they wanted Save Ferris to come back.
Yeah.
And originally it was supposed to be with the original members, and unfortunately, that wasn't how it worked out for
Right.
them. So, it didn't have to be that way,
Right.
but that's how it worked out for them.
Yes.
So,
Have you spoken to any of them since all this happened? Maybe have they given you any, like, I don't want to say criticism or kind of advice about how, positive reinforcement about anything of any comments about the band now and how nothing?
No.
Okay.
they,
Okay.
it's just,
It is what it is.
is what it is. It really hasn't, it's been a non-issue.
Right. Okay.
Honestly, it's,
Yeah.
it's been a non-issue since they, quit the band
Yeah.
in 2000, what was it? 2001,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
and then, yeah, so it's really, and then what happened, and was I surprised? Yeah and no.
Right.
And um it's like I said, it's not exactly how I wanted it to go. It wasn't how I expected it to
Right.
go, and it's not how I originally wanted it to go, but life is about how you roll with the punches,
Yeah.
and I wasn't about to give up because there was a slew of fans, hundreds and hundreds of fans that were hitting me up like, when are you going to bring Save Ferris back?
Yeah.
Like, when is this going to happen? And it meant something to them. And because it meant something to them, it meant something to me. And then I got this health scare, and then I made this promise to my dad when I had the surgery that, like, if I could still, sing and all of
Right.
that, when I woke up from the surgery, that, um, you know, I'd bring the band back. I just didn't think that I would be doing it alone.
Right.
know.
Yeah. But like you said,
And
2.5 seconds to get a band together, right?
yeah, I mean, I was scared.
Right.
I mean, I was terrified. I didn't want to do it alone, but I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. I made that promise, not only to my dad, but to myself. And at that point, I had just been so beat down that it was like, you either got to get up or you're just going to die.
Right.
You cannot let this defeat you. You cannot let this defeat you.
No,
You
it's
have got
mindset. Yeah.
I also didn't have a choice. I
Right.
didn't have a choice. I had to fight.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
life sort of points you in the right direction,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was put in a position and I didn't have a choice. So,
Yeah. But what we got out of that is Checkered Past, fabulous EP, which I absolutely love. And your father sang back up on one of the songs, right?
yeah, he did. And John Avila produced it. And John Avila is the same man who produced She Has a Girlfriend Now and Turn the Radio Off,
Right.
the Real Big Fish album,
Yeah.
like that I sang on when I was like 19.
Right. Yeah.
And so that came around full circle, and that was so cool.
Yeah. But how cool was it to have on New Sound to have Neville Staple from the Specials sing on that with you?
Really cool.
The original rude boy, alongside Save Ferris.
It's coming down to get you, eh? And once it got you, it will take you away. There is a fire, we're gonna burn it down. We're gonna burn, burn, burn down to the ground.
Cause it's a brand new song.
Rude girl moving on the dance floor. Ain't got no problems or no more. Stinking her troubles away. Nothing nobody can say. Rudy looking smooth in the dance hall. He jumping like troubles are all gone.
Hey!
Rudy done move and he sways. Nothing nobody can say. There is a new sound coming around. There is a new sound out on the town. We gonna set this place on fire. Rude girl, tough, she is a fighter. We gonna take you away.
Take you away.
Take all your troubles away.
Take.
Dance all night till you feel nothing. Rude boy hanging with your brother. Rudy done move and he sway. Skanking your troubles away. There is a new sound coming around. There is a new sound up from the ground. There is a new sound coming around. There is a new sound out on the town.
Burn on the music, we go burn down it down. Gather round people for this brand new song. Girls come and make we jump around. Jumping around to this brand new song.
Once it gets you, it will take you away. We gonna burn the
Because he and I have been friends for a long time, and it was nice to finally work on something together creatively,
Yeah.
even though it was across the pond from each other.
Right.
And eventually ended up moving to Birmingham. So,
Okay.
and so we got to spend some time together because that's right next to Coventry. And so
Right.
we did end up getting to spend some time together
That's
over, over COVID and stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah. COVID. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, and a lot of the places you guys perform are like smaller venues. And I was hoping to see you when you guys were in Connecticut last month, but unfortunately I was away. But you kind of surprised how a lot of those places kind of persevered after COVID.
yeah,
Yeah, because every artist was in the same boat. They were just stuck at home, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. And all these places were just like struggling to survive.
yeah. I mean, it's in like going out there and like just jumping into this sort of like I was like, I just want to do a small headlining club tour just to get back
Right.
out there, just to sort of like grease up the wheels sort of
Yeah.
thing, and we hadn't been out to the Midwest in like, I mean, a very, very, very long time.
Right.
So Midwest, but then also going back out to the Eastern US. And also these big festivals that are happening right now are sort of like kind of killing these clubs.
Right.
So it's making it really hard for these clubs. It's not now, it's the 1-2 punch. COVID almost killed them. And now these big festival shows that are happening, everybody's investing all their money in because they're like, why would I go to a small club show and see 1 or 2 bands, or maybe 3
Yeah.
in one night when I can go to this big old festival, invest like all my money for the year and see like 40 bands
Right.
one day. And so that's kind of hurting these clubs, which is kind of a shame because for a lot of people, that's like date night. That's like Friday night date night,
Right.
you know? That's like fun. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
times.
Yeah.
That's like let's get a sitter,
Hmm.
you know, and get dressed up and go dance or have a drink or
Do
just
whatever.
at a
Yeah.
house, you know.
Yeah.
Once all these clubs close down, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. And I feel like festivals are just like exhausting now. You know, it's just like,
Exhausting.
yeah, you know, it's just like I can't invest maybe because I'm getting older, but you know, it's just rather to see one band for a couple hours rather than, you know, 15, 20 bands. I might not like half of them and kind of
Yeah.
have to kind of sit there and kind of twiddle your thumbs until what I really want to see finally takes the stage.
They're exhausting. And you
Yeah.
pay $10 for a bottle of water.
Yeah,
You know, you're like on your feet all day.
exactly.
And for musicians playing the festivals, it's great for us because we get paid really well
Right.
to play these festivals. So we're like, cool,
Yeah.
one and done, great. But then once all these little clubs close down, we don't get to tour the rest of the year. And if you're not big enough to play this festival circuit, then you're screwed.
Right.
There's nowhere for you to go. And forget if that's the end of live music.
Yeah.
And that would just be a shame,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know? So I would hate to see them die. I sure was grateful that they were there, though, when we were there.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. So, do you remember where you were the first time you heard one of your songs on the radio?
Yeah. I was in my 89 Camaro, driving up to the Star Pool House. I think we were going to rehearse or hang out. I can't remember with the band. And yeah, I heard it on K-Rock, the LA radio station out here. And I remember pulling over and just being like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because that was the radio station I'd listened to my whole life.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And that was Come On, Eileen.
Yeah. It was the middle of the day and I was like, oh my God, my head is going to explode.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. What about the most interesting place you heard one of your songs?
In a jukebox at like a bar in Wilmington, North Carolina when I was visiting my dad's family.
Right.
So random.
That's funny.
I'm like, what is one of my songs doing in a jukebox out here?
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you react when you heard it?
My family was just very proud.
Right.
Cousins, I remember they were very proud. I was
Yeah.
like, did you do that? They're like, no, we did
No.
not do that. I'm like, come on. They're like, no. That is just random,
Right.
but whatever.
Yeah. That's funny. But Monique, best of luck with the new EP coming out. I can't wait to hear it. Hopefully you'll come back and tour again on the East Coast real soon. I know you just finished up, but I would love to see you guys perform, and best of luck with everything.
I would love for you to come out and good luck with your back. And I really wish you a speedy recovery.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And thanks for having me.
And a special thanks to Monique for joining me today. Check out their website, saveferris.com. And if you have a guest suggestion, hit me up on X, formerly Twitter, @thepersonal19, or like the page Really My Youth on Facebook. You can go to iTunes, check out all the past episodes we've had. While you're there, please rate and review the show. Don't have iTunes? Not a problem. Show's on SoundCloud, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, basically wherever you can find a podcast. A new episode will be out soon. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you then.